Hi everyone. Today I will get into the effectiveness of the situational leadership style. There's been much debate on which leadership style is the most effective. Supportive, more supportive style, and as we see in um, servant style leadership, or more directive, authoritative, um, and more autocratic style. But the situational leadership was developed in 1969 by Dr. Paul Hersey and Dr. Kenneth Blanchard. And this style eliminated the one-size-fits-all approach to the most effective style, as it embraces every style based on the situation. And the situation depends on an employee or individual group members' competence level and the willingness to complete a task. And that is what the situational leadership centers itself around. And the leader should adopt the necessary style based on those characteristics, right? So let me get into I'm gonna show you this is the current model, the revised, the SL2 leadership model, which you see is divided into 4 quadrants, and it has a supportive behavior on the Y and directive behavior on the X-axis. And the 4 quadrants, you have delegating, supporting, coaching, directing, right? And this is the development levels at the bottom are based on the individual characteristics, right? Low competence, high competence, low commitment, low competence, high commitment, high competence, and so on. And based on those, whichever fit into that quadrant as this style the leader should adopt, right? And this model has been proven to be effective, not only from a coaching standpoint, but also at the organizational level as well. We see organizations encouraging their managers to adopt the S2 approach. The coaching seems to be the most effective, which we'll get into that here in the next slide here. Situational leadership represents a versatile leadership style that emphasizes the importance of adapting one's approach to match the needs and readiness levels of team members. This adaptive style holds immense potential for improving communication, motivation, and productivity within teams. By customizing their leadership methods to suit each individual team member, leaders can unlock their full potential and cultivate a more harmonious and effective team dynamic. So right there, situational leadership, right? It sees employees on the individual level, right? Communication, improving communication. It even motivates them to be better, right? To be better at their jobs, and promotes productivity, right? By adapting the style based on the willingness and the competency of the employee, right? And I thought an interesting study showed, it included new hires, worked at a company for less than a year, were studied, and it showed that, this. Oh, sorry. The study found a significant link between the coaching leadership style and new hire engagement. Human resource leaders and other organizational leaders should support new managers in modeling coaching with new employees so that they can increase new hire engagement and competence in the workplace. So right here is where I believe is at the core of separating managers and leaders, right? So you got human resource leaders that are encouraging their organization managers, right, to adopt a more the S2 or the model, the coaching approach, right, to new hires. You think new hires, because you think with new hires they probably have a high willingness to complete the task, but a low competence level as they're new and they may not understand what's required of them or how to do the job correctly. This is where the coaching style comes in, and this is what I think this is really what separates managers from leaders, right? And you have leaders who can do this on, people that do this on an unconscious level. They don't even realize they're doing it because they see people as individuals, and each person has their own unique characteristics, right? That a leader needs to conform to their needs and understand how to lead that individual, right, in the right direction. And this is what I think is at the core of when we first talked about in this class. We first talked about separating what separates managers and leaders, and I think it's right here. I think it's the managers usually adopt a one size fits all approach. Just at the end of the day, they want to accomplish a task, they want to get the job done, right? But a leader understands they kind of engage in a more personal level, right? Individual level. They recognize the different needs and requirements of each individual, and not everybody does everything in a certain way, right? And I think that is what employees appreciate about situational leaders, and it's showing here in these studies, showing that the coach, the S2 high, which is high end supportive and high end directive, right? And that's really effective with new hires, which can help with the turnover, help reduce turnover rates for organizations. And myself, as a flag football coach here and tackle football coach in Miami, I've had many players that are on different levels. And my first year, I had some that didn't even know English. So right off the bat, I was forced to modify my coaching style or technique to modify with their needs, right? And it's been it's very challenging, but I think that's where it separates. Some people can learn this and learn to be situational leaders, and see people that need that have different tendencies and recognize that, and some people just can't. And that goes to the heart of the question: do our leaders born or made? I would say that based on the situational model, that some have the ability to be situational leaders almost on an unconscious level, don't have to try, but some do really have to try and to learn this style of leadership, and it comes easier for others, right? And I just want to leave you with this. This is Coach Twyla Kaufman. She is the U.S. Women's soccer coach. I think she's a great example of a situational leader, and she's been so successful. This was her with the UC Davis team, when she coached for college and NCAA. But her 3 rules to success, I'll leave you with. Her first rule is: when you are squeezed, what you are truly made of will come out. And that isn't her encouraging her players to be the best they can on and off the field, right? And that speaks volumes in revealing their true characters, right? And does benefit them in the long run with how they perform on the field, right? And number 2 is, I think, at the heart of the situational leadership. This is what really separates her from the most. I think it's the law of the farm, right? So we can plant the seeds, we can water the ground, we can protect the garden from insects, but we can't control when the vines will bear fruit. And by this, she means that we don't know when everybody will develop, because not everybody develops at the same pace, right? And to recognize that, a good situational leader recognizes, that not everybody develops at the same pace as others. And number 3, she writes, this year's ceiling is next year's floor, and celebrates the graduating class and their accomplishments, but at the same time making that the floor for the incoming graduates, right? So this is how she's able to grow the program and grow and be the best leader she can, right? And by pushing them to their limits. So I hope you guys were able to learn something, and thank you so much.